the News Channel 5 network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. I'm Nick Barris. It is a Wednesday. We've got a good show on tap for you. We're going to open up the phone lines because we're going to be talking about real estate. Inventory was one of the key words just as I sat down, as we know about so much more being built in this area. As you know, it's such a fast-growing territory, and not just Nashville, but the surrounding areas. And then the question, too, this morning, are you looking to sell? Are you looking to buy? How do you go about doing it? It's a great time to sell, maybe, because people are paying top dollar. They want to live here. But if you sell, you got to live somewhere, right? And then you're going to have to buy something else. You'll have to pay top dollar yourself. It's kind of a vicious circle there. But how you can work it out. And then the bigger question, too, is we see some of these absurd prices for some very small properties, in my humble opinion. Is there an artificial bubble forming again to some degree? Nothing like we saw in 2007 and all that in the mid-2000s. But is it getting to the point where there are some prices where people are still willing to pay because they want to be somewhere? And eventually you're going to look back and but you paid what for 700 square feet? You're an idiot. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But Christie Wilson, she's a real estate expert. Are there idiots out there? Yes. Oh, yeah, there's idiots out there, Christie. You don't have to say it. I will.
Okay, I'll let you say it.
There's idiots out there.
I'll let you say it.
Are there people paying too much for properties these days?
I don't think so. I think we're in a really good market right now.
How can you rationalize the money they're paying for 700 square feet in an apartment in the Gulch at $500,000? 700 square feet, $500,000. That's insane.
Well, it's not quite $500,000 now in the 1212 building, but it's the market. The market is here's
which could
the
be
market.
Artificially inflated.
I don't think we are in a bubble. I think we are starting to stabilize, Nick, where prices are starting to level out, and now buyers actually have time to think about their decision.
Okay, that's
so when it
good.
was so frenetic and it drove the prices just from 2012 to really end of 17, prices were doing that, and now they're starting to stabilize out, and people think, oh my gosh, prices are coming down. And I'm going to say this. Prices are coming down, but values are not. And the reason that is because people say, oh my gosh, well, if my neighbor got $300,000 for their house, then my house must be worth $350,000 because my house is so much better than my neighbor's. So they'll price their house at $350, doesn't sell for $350. They drop it down to $300, and people say, oh, prices are coming down. Yeah, prices are coming down, but that value was always $300,000.
Oh, it was always $300,000.
But that seller, in their mind, and most sellers do this, they think their houses are worth a lot of times more than they are. And so it's our job as realtors to educate the seller on what real market value is, what the comps are selling for in the neighborhood.
And that's good then. But is the real market value in some of these neighborhoods actually going down a bit? Or, a lot of people are thinking, well, I've been waiting to sell, and maybe I'm not quite ready now, but now it looks like the price is maybe going down. I need to strike while the iron's hot. Maybe I should sell now before maybe a year from now my value of my home goes down because inventory's increased or something like that.
Right. Well, to the inventory point, there's been so little inventory that it's made it such a frenzy of a market. With more inventory hitting the market, it's making it a much more balanced market. Okay. So instead of being on the market 3 days, maybe you're on the market now 30 days. Last month, the median days on market went up to 26 days. On market.
Is that right? 26 days? Well, from what? Maybe.
Gosh, I think it was probably like 19.
19. So it was okay. So it's staying on the market a bit longer. And is that because of the inventory increase?
Several things. Inventory increase. Summer things, believe it or not, tend to slow down a little bit because people are on vacation. You can just feel it in the traffic right now. It's like, oh, I love Nashville in the summer.
It is not bad at all.
It's not bad, yeah. I'm just dreading when school starts back. I'm like, it took me 10 minutes to get to the studio this morning. During school, it's going to take 25.
At least, double it. Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors that come into play. All the projections for Nashville is that we are completely stable. We're in a great place. Of course, the country will probably hit a recession soon, but it's going to, we always do.
It comes, exactly.
And real estate does that too.
Is that reflective too of some of the surrounding areas? Like I'm in Wilson County, and which is named after Christie Wilson, and
it's not.
No, it's not. Okay. Well, pretty common last name, but the Providence area and all that's growing. But Murfreesboro, same way. Is that all kind of on par? I mean, growing like Nashville, or is it spreading that way as well?
Oh, completely.
Okay, so the whole,
Wilson County is one of the strongest. Wilson, Rutherford, Sumner, all our counties, this 9-county region is very stable.
Okay. Really, the trick for some people, and I know a lot of people like the idea of living downtown or closer to the downtown, but now, if you want to get a little bit of land or something like that, and you have to come to the city like I do, there's a window for me of a commute. I don't want to commute more than 40 minutes.
Right.
That's about my top. 45 hour I'm not interested in. Now, there's all kinds of neat properties, and we're in the market maybe for looking to move at some point to downsize our size of our house. You can find some land, because I don't like neighbors. All right. Now I've got some great neighbors now, but I don't want people on top of me. I don't want to live in a subdivision. I just don't. I'd like some. You can find that in Watertown. But I'm not driving from Watertown to work every day.
Not to downtown Nashville.
Forget it. That's I know some people commute a long way.
Watertown I love when you're looking for is northwest Davidson County.
Like
Jolton, Whites Creek, Scottsboro, over there. That is beautiful.
And
beautiful
are there lots of property to be had that aren't built, or you can find fixer-uppers, or
a handful of fixer-uppers. You know, you're getting away from the subdivisions, where you're getting probably 5 acres, at least 5 acres.
That'd be sweet.
And it's just beautiful. And you just zip right into town on Whites Creek Pike,
that's not bad.
Clarksville Highway. It's just very, very convenient.
So are they discovering that now? I mean, I'm surprised any place in Davidson County is still kind of like that.
If they're septic and not city water, or not city water, city sewer, it's not going to be developed. You know, until you get I can't speak. Until you get sewer out there, system. You can't do developments.
Right.
Because you have to have a certain amount of acreage to accommodate a septic system, so the land is too big to, you know, if
that's what I'd be looking for. My thing, and I don't know, I don't want to spend too much talking about what I want to look for, but we would find property and we'd have to perk it and make our own septic system.
That's correct.
And so perking, and that's part of the trick. Wilson County finding stuff, it's all built as rock everywhere. Now, you can find perk, you know, but that's the option people have. If you're wondering what that means is, you move into a subdivision, you have city water and sewer. A lot of places I could find a piece of property, and you might have city water, but you don't have sewer. And you have to go through your county, you know, planning commission or whatever to get approval. You have to have a soil scientist come out to find you dig your own septic system. It has to be able to leach into the ground properly. There has to be enough loose soil to do that, right?
Correct.
Are people doing that? Are they finding properties and perking themselves?
If they're going to build there, they have to do that.
Okay.
Because that's the only way you can.
But that's one way. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh gosh, no. Well, I grew up on a septic system.
Try calling a soil scientist and getting, and there's maybe 50 in the state, if you ask me. They've got they're 6 weeks out.
I'm sure. If you're involved in the resident or any of the real estate market, residential or commercial, the people who are the specialists are all booked out. If you need an environmental scientist, a soil scientist, contractors. I mean, trying to get something done. I wanted a screen porch done, and my company was 6 months out. So you have to get in the queue.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's patience right now, and it's been that way for years.
All right, so if you buy a piece of property, you want to build a house, you have to find a contractor to build it.
Yep, your builder, right.
And is that hard to do right now?
There's a lot. We have a lot of great builders and contractors in Nashville. The really good ones are booked up. Okay. So, most people will interview several. Yeah. You know, and look at their references, look at other homes they've built, see if it's the type of builder that they want. So if it's a really good one that they want and he's backed up, you may just be waiting a bit. And subcontractors, that's the bigger problem right now, because subcontractors are your framers, your plumbing contractors, your electricians, you know, all the people on the job site who have to create it. Right. They're so valuable. And other I've seen or heard, I've never physically seen it, where a builder will come up to a job site and tell these guys, I'll pay you 75 cents more an hour, and take the whole team.
Just leave my.
I've heard that. I haven't seen it.
Oh, that
you come back from lunch and you're just like, my guys are gone.
They're
Where's
all gone
my crew?
because they just hired them away. Yeah. But you know, I did talk to a few of the soil scientists, and I was like, "Yeah, we're booked." And I'm like, "Wow!" So he goes, "Yeah, and you know what, Nick? 10 years ago, we were starving to death." Sure. And he goes, "So it goes in streaks."
And it does. I mean, and let's look at 10 years ago. We were in 2008, the beginning of the recession, and if you were involved not only in the real estate industry but so many industries, it was just slow.
There was no building going on. Now everywhere you look, there's a subdivision going in.
It's crazy. Okay. And it's real. It's reality, and things are selling. Okay. So even though we do have more inventory, we've needed more inventory for so long. So that's part of it, where people are being able to think about if they're buying it or not, which is good, because
I think so. When
you rush into buying something, you start having regrets, and then contracts. We probably saw more contracts fall through in the past 2-3 years than we ever have, just because I felt like buyers were rushing in, and then they get a little bit of buyer's remorse. Not all, but you know, there was still more.
And then they get. You are exactly right.
You know,
in fact,
so you have to process. It's a big purchase. You need to process it just a little bit.
And you have to process, and that's excellent advice. Something that I need to take note of. I'll tell you about that. But the number is 737-7587. We've got to take a break.
Okay.
When we come back, you know, we can take some of your calls if you're sitting there wondering about the value of your house, where you live. You know, what's it like buying and selling right now? What are the hot areas to go to and the like? And then I want you to talk more about inventory and what we're seeing with, you know, the explosion of some of these apartment buildings and condos going up as well. We'll be back more with the great Christie Wilson. You're going to be hard pressed to find anyone that knows more about real estate in this area than she does. We'll be right back with more right after this.